Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I want to play this video and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Detective Brandy George with the Mesa Police Department. This critical incident
And we'll skip the beginning.
investigates cult to strong.
Hello, I'm Detective Richard Encinas with the Mesa Police Department's Media Relations Unit. On Monday, May 9th at approximately 9:04 p.m., Mesa police officers were dispatched to the Circle K located at 1953 East Southern Avenue for a report of a male inside the store threatening to kill the manager and acting erratically. The manager stated that the male was punching the air and yelling at people who were not there. Here is the 911 call from the Circle K manager.
Yes, my name is Douglas Johnson. I work at the Circle K on 7th and Gilbert. I have a guy out here, threatening to kill people.
Okay.
And he just threatened to kill me.
Is he threatening with a weapon or anything?
No, he doesn't have a weapon or anything, but, he's sitting there, it looks like he's hallucinating off of some kind of drugs. He's sitting there, yelling at nobody, punching at nobody. He actually just took off from the store. He went across the street over by the subway there. He's on a dark blue bicycle. He's wearing a grayish blue Vulcan shirt.
And you said
has a diamond symbol.
As officers head to the Circle K, one officer spots a man who was later identified as 27-year-old Omar Fernando Lugo Osuna on a bike who fit the description, heading southbound on Gilbert just north of the US 60. The officer attempted to stop Lugo Osuna and he refused. The officer tried to stop him a second time when Lugo Osuna jumped off his bike and swung a knife at the officer. The officer stumbled to the ground and fired at Lugo Osuna, striking him twice. Here is the radio call from the officers involved.
1 Charlie 19 in any units, 2 break 4 418.
Yeah, very well, take that.
Copy. It's at 1953 East Southern, 1953 East Southern at the Circle K. There's a subject that's threatening to kill people and yelling and punching in the air. It occurred one ago. The subject's on a dark blue bicycle. The subject was lastly heading to Mesa. Charlie 19, go ahead.
Riding southbound on Gilbert, just north of the 60. Charlie 10 with him, and we're at Gilbert and the 60 to the north. One running, one fighting.
Copy. 998, copy. 998 for 6 Charlie 18 at Gilbert and the 60. Traffic on 1.
Here is the officer's body-worn camera footage of the incident.
Hey, get off the bike! Get off the bike! Get the fuck away from me, motherfucker! Get the fuck away from me! Fucker! I'm not doing anything! I'm not fucking doing anything! Get me on cover! Get me on cover! I don't have anything! You don't have a gun! Right here, bro! You don't have a gun! Hey, get off the bike! Get off the bike! Fucker! I'm not doing anything! I'm not fucking doing anything! Get me on cover! Get me on cover! I don't have anything! You don't have a gun! Right here, bro! You don't have a gun!
Officers began treating Lugo Osuna for...
Alright, so you get a call about this dude.
998 for...
Here is the officer's body-worn camera footage.
Get a call about this dude acting crazy, threatening to kill people, punching the air, yelling at, no one there. Typical meth head shit. Now, I don't know if this guy's on meth or not. But that's unfortunately kind of a common thing all across the nation. Like, there are just people who are just jacked up. No other better way to describe it. They're just jacked up.
Hey, get off the bike!
So immediately, this dude decides to keep going. You know, the lights come on, siren comes on, he hits the spotlight on the guy. He gets out, tells him, get off the bike. The dude keeps going. So obviously this dude has no intentions of being compliant whatsoever. This officer, I'm assuming that probably what's going through his mind, this guy's pretty close on the bike. He'll just run after him and snatch him.
Get off the bike! Fuck away, motherfucker! Get fuck away! Get off the bike! Fuck away, motherfucker! Get fuck away! Get off the bike! Fuck away, motherfucker! Get fuck away! Get off the bike! Fuck away, motherfucker! Get fuck away!
So he, suspect pulls a knife and swings it. And in the slowed down footage, you could see him holding it in an ice pick type of hold. Michael Myers, stab you to death kind of hold, right? So the officer starts to back up. And the problem with walking backwards is you cannot do it as good as you can walking forward. A lot of times, walking backwards quickly under stress causes you to fall. And this is what happens to him. He starts to rapidly back away, walking backwards, and he falls to the ground. As he's falling, he fires 3 rounds, and he hits the suspect twice. No idea where that third round went. He ends up on his back.
Get off the bike! Fuck away, motherfucker! Get fuck away! Fucker!
And he immediately recovers, crunches up, and covers a threat with his pistol. So now he is in a supine fighting position. And a good firearms course will have you shoot from your back. If your firearms training has not had you shoot from this position, then you have not had real firearms training, in my opinion. You've had just a gun safety class, for lack of better words there. The reality of finding yourself on your back is pretty high. Very high possibility that you could be on your back and having to fight from that position and have to fight back to your feet. Whether you've been knocked down to your back in a fight or you have fallen like this guy has here.
Not doing anything!
He kind of does a shrimping out type of maneuver, I guess you could say, where left hand is supporting on the ground and he draws his legs and feet up under him and gets up off the ground that way, raises up, his buddy's there, and his buddy's encouraging him to go to cover. And their only form of cover happens to be this this junction box. I believe probably what this is probably some type of utility box to control street lights or traffic lights, or it could be some type of telecom box where there's like phone lines and stuff like that in there. Not really sure what it is, but it seems to be their only form of cover around there. Is it the best cover? Probably not. I'd say the metal housing, I'd say probably a bullet could easily go through it. Now, what's on the inside of that thing, I have no idea. There could be a steel server rack type of design thing in there that holds circuit boards and wires and all kinds of electrical shit. That could deflect around, slow around down enough to where it wouldn't go all the way through and come out the other side, or there might not be a whole lot in there, and hiding behind that is basically the equivalent of hiding behind a bush. It's just not going to stop shit, and you're still going to get hit. So no idea what's inside that thing, or if it's even worth a damn being behind it. But they go towards it, and they take cover behind it until they can get a team there to approach this guy.
Right here, go.
Skip it to the team going in.
I'm not doing anything. I don't have a gun.
Lugo Osuna for his
Right here, go. I don't have a gun.
Officers began treating Lugo Osuna for his injuries until Mesa Fire medical personnel arrived. He was transported to the hospital where he was later released for non-life-threatening injuries. The officer involved received minor injuries but was not taken to the hospital. During the investigation, officers recovered a knife next to Lugo Osuna. Lugo Osuna was taken to the Mesa City Jail where he was booked on 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count threatening and intimidating.
So, no idea what this guy's prior criminal background is like, but I would make a safe bet and say that this is probably not his first time being involved in the criminal justice system. He's probably had some prior charge before. Now, what kind of charges he has had, I don't know. Not really sure. I would say probably, most likely, some kind of drug-related charge. And there's a possibility that something similar to this, but for sure, I would say if he has had anything, it's probably going to be drug-related charge. Now, the charges that he's got, I don't know in Arizona what the time involved for one of these being if it's a guilty conviction, what's the maximum amount of time he could be looking at and the minimum amount of time he could be looking at. No idea. But I think it's probably safe to say that he probably will not see that maximum time, which is a recurring problem all across the nation. Violent offenders are not serving full sentences. They are being released early. They are taken at the very beginning. They may be taking plea deals to agree to plead guilty and get a lesser sentence. So let's say, for example, this aggravated assault with a deadly weapon could carry a 15-year sentence. He could agree to plead guilty to all this, and they give him 8 years instead. Well, sounds great. But when he goes to serve that 8 years, he can complete stuff while in prison. He can do substance abuse program. He can do all kinds of this other stuff and get credit for time. So he passed these classes, and that means X amount of time is reduced off his sentence, good behavior, etc. So that 8 years that, he theoretically could be getting, he might not even serve all 8 of it. He may serve 4 of it or 5 of it. Or he may serve a whole lot less, get a shock probation, a shock parole, and get out. In the meantime, before he gets guilty and everything, he could be out on bond. This occurred in May of 2022. At time of recording, it is September 30th, 2022. This dude could very well be out on bond right now and still be waiting for this trial or for this proceeding stuff, for this court proceeding stuff to find a resolution. Court process is extremely slow. It is not speedy at all. Yeah, I always kind of laugh when it says, a right to a speedy trial. There's nothing speedy about court. It is slow as fuck. It really is. You do not want to be caught up in the criminal justice system because it moves extremely slow. So what happens a lot of times is criminals will be arrested for they'll be arrested on incident number 1, be released out on bond, and then they go commit offense incident number 2, get arrested for it, get out on bond, go get arrested for incident number 3, get out on bond, and could be getting arrested for incident 4, and incident 1 hasn't even completed all the pre-trial shit yet. It's nowhere near being anything close to being a trial or anything like that, because that process takes so freaking long. So there are people who literally get arrested 4 or 5 times on different stuff within a year, and the first thing that they got arrested for in that year, or that 1 year time frame, has not come to completion yet. It's still in the beginning phase of the court process. So while they're still sorting shit out for the first case, these people are out committing more crimes, victimizing more people, and they're out on bond. It is time that things change in this nation. We have to start taking a more harsher approach to violent criminal offenders. Someone like this should not be freely roaming around on the streets just because they can make bond. They have proven that they are a danger to others, and they should stay in there until their trial is complete. And the trial should not be dragged out and wait a whole year plus time. Like, this should be done pretty quick. It's on video. He swings the knife at the officer. This should be done within a matter of a couple of months. It should not take over a year or more to find resolution for this case, which is common for all cases, because like I said, the court processes, the different types of hearings you have to have, it just takes so damn long. And the defense will purposely do shit to prolong stuff as well. They'll drag it out. They'll drag it out as long as they can to keep their client free, keep them out of the jail, and of course, keep them in a job, right? I mean, if you're not doing a whole lot of work, then there's not a need for you. So they drag it out so they have more work. They have more of a need, get more money.
At this point in the investigation, we know that the officer involved fired 3 rounds from his service weapon. He
hit the guy twice.
Been on the department for just under 2 years. All the information and evidence in this case will be presented.
All right.
And
so not much else to not much else to really say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.